This is AndyTube. In this video, I'm going to be doing a sewing test on Cute, my Singer Model 99K that I've been restoring. I'm almost finished with the restoration now. And oh, you might have noticed I just said my Singer 99K. So yes, it's true. My wife came to me this week and informed me that she's not going to keep Cute after all. That she just got her eyes set on Regina, the Singer Model 403A I finished restoring this week. And she decided that she wanted Regina because Regina also has zigzag capability and pattern cams. So can't say no to that. So the wife's a proud new owner of Regina, and when I finish up Cute here, I'll be listing her up on Craigslist for sale. So anyway, I always do a sewing test on every machine that I restore. I do not sew, so it's kind of a test of me also. But I'm looking at basically two things because the machine's operating fine now. I got the bobbin holder bouncing around. I got that quieted down now. Everything is good. Everything is set to factory specifications. But when I do the test, I'm looking for a couple of things. I sew different thickness of materials, and I'm looking through everything I sew at the formation of the lock stitch. Is it a balanced stitch? That's the primary reason for this test. And the second thing is does the machine have the penetration power that it should based on the model that I'm testing? Now normally I would use needles from size 9, 11, 14, and 16 on these different types of material I'm going to be sewing on. But I always just run the test with a standard size 14 sharp needle. And this is the same needle I've used through the whole series because I kind of would like to make the stitch fail. Sometimes I use too little tension, sometimes too much. Using the wrong size needle or thread can create some problems. But if I can get a good lock stitch through all of these materials, just using a standard number 14 needle, I feel pretty confident that I've done the best I can do on adjusting the machine and getting it set. And this machine is going to be easy because I don't have zigzag. I only have straight stitch and forward and reverse. So the first thing that I do is just sew a facial tissue. It's just a standard facial tissue, so it's kind of delicate, and I just want to make sure I can do a nice lock stitch with it. And I'll probably do something this fine, about 15 stitches per inch. So let's give it a go here. I'm even going to try and use the foot pedal, which I don't normally do, but I'm barefoot and I want to see if the pedal gets warm at all, since I took out the asbestos and put in the other material. You can see that with the foot pedal adjusted now, I can control it. I can go very slow if I need to, which is usually a good idea when I'm sewing. Here we go. I forgot, when you get to the end you got to take your foot off the pedal. I usually just put the foot pedal on the bench and operate it with my hand. Get this out of the way. So here's my stitch, looking good. It's not puckered. It's balanced. I don't have any blue bobbin thread on the top or purple needle thread on the bottom. That was about at a almost down to a 2 for tension. Don't need a lot of tension when you're sewing something like silk or very, very light fabrics. This is some percale. Just would be kind of like a bed sheet, right? And I'm going to fold it over a little bit and sew this. I'll go up to a 3 for tension, which is the bottom of the normal range, and about a 12 stitch. Go ahead and reverse on the fly. Looks good. Always end with my needle up. So just 2-ply of a percale type with reverse. Still very nice. This makes a very nice stitch, this machine. So let's just take that percale and because I want light color on the bottom for that blue to show up. I'll just put this. This is a 2 layers of a drapery liner, like a blackout liner for draperies. Some scrap my wife had, so I'm going to add that onto the top of my tissue, my bed sheet, and now the drapery liner. It's just a little bit thicker, denser material. Go ahead and do that. Come over a little bit, and I'll leave it on 12. That seems like a pretty good stitch length for this type of fabric. Here we go. You see, I always start and end with the take-up lever peaked at the top and started to come down. You bring it up just over the top. That way I don't have to hold on to my thread ends, and everything is set up for downward penetrating motion. The needle bar, the counterweight on the end of the arm shaft up here, everything is ready to go down. So how'd that stitch do? You know, this is going to get kind of boring because the singers always look pretty. This does look nice. Let me check and see how my presser foot pressure is. Let me sew another one here. Just wanted to get a little reverse in there this time. You can see right here where I reversed it. And it's still I am not getting bobbin thread up on top, and I'm not getting needle thread down on the bottom stitches. Let's put this up on top now. What I've got here is some thick outdoor canopy or outdoor furniture material called sunbrella. Some of you may be familiar with that, but it's popular out here in Arizona for outdoor umbrellas, canopies off the house, your patio furniture, because it's like guaranteed not to fade for 10 years or something like that. And it's a well-made fabric. So I'm going to add that on top of the stack now. And this time I'm going to have this dove gray drapery lining behind there. And I'll get it set up here. And maybe I'll come over more towards the center of this now, not quite the center. And this time I'm going to start with a reverse and go forward. I'm going to use, where's my pointer? I'm going to use a number 10 stitch on this. And I'm going to go to about 3.5 on the tension. Maybe 4. 4 is usually where I have adjusted it for average tension. So let's try 4 here. And first I'm going to reverse it back a couple of stitches. And then I'm going to go forward at 10 stitches per inch. I'm not used to using these foot controllers. Come here, you. I have the machine kind of far back on the bench so I can get it in the camera view, and it doesn't leave much cord to go down to the floor. That's going to be my excuse for bad stitching. Here we go. Just like butter, man. So now Cute is a 99K, which is a 3/4 size Model 66, right? But it has a 0.8 amp motor, and even though it is belt driven and not a direct drive motor, this oscillating hook and all metal Pitman rods and levers and cranks and everything down below really have a lot of power, and it's just going right through this. It's not hesitating at all. This really is no challenge for the machine at all. So I'm going to add a nice thick layer of fleece on here on top of the stack, and I should be using, I'm sure by now, a ballpoint needle, since this is knit, but I can still get this under the foot, so I'm just going to go ahead with it and add it to the stack of stuff here. And this one I'll reverse at the end of my stitching. Whoop! What do you think? Oh, did I lose my needle thread? Hang on. I forgot to drop the foot down. It looked like it was down because this material is so thick. Oops. See, I told you I don't really know how to sew. I'm pretty good at working on the machines, but sewing on them, forget about it. Okay, good. Make sure I don't have my thread tangled on my needle now. That's one thing I learned about these, is you don't want to run the needle thread down there to the hook when there's no fabric under the needle, because man, can it get wrapped up around the hook and up around the needle and everything. Just look right. Okay, it goes left to right through the needle. So yeah, okay, I got it untangled now, and my apologies. I'll add that to my blooper video someday. Okay, now I've got it. Tension it for length at 10. Here we go. There, just for the heck of it, I sewed right off the back end of it in reverse. Still a great lock stitch, and still no problem with penetrating power. So I'm very happy with how Cute did. I have some nylon strapping. I like to do that. A lot of people buy my machines to make camping gear and hiking gear and hunting gear, and they tell me that they sew with this a lot. Leather and duck cloth and this nylon webbing. So let me run some of that on top of everything else now. You gotta remember that. Drop the foot. Reverse. All right. Piece of cake. So you think this could hem jeans or not? Let me double check which one is my... There it is right here. With the reverse right in the center. Beautiful, beautiful. This has never skipped a stitch, and the tension now between the bobbin tension spring and the needle thread tension unit is very balanced. It's never shown a bobbin stitch above, and it's never shown a needle thread stitch below. All right, let's just do a couple more here. We'll take the end of this belt and run it through and see how we do with that. Of course, this I'm going to put a little more presser foot pressure. I'll stay with the number 4 thread tension. The longest stitch I can do is 6, and we'll try it out here. Oop. And plug this back on. I got this on. There we go. I didn't guide that very well. I brought the foot pedal up to do it by hand. But let's look at the stitching. Yeah, it's still balanced. It's still good. It's got good penetration power. Let's go back here maybe. Try this. I guess I should take my threads to the back, huh? Better do that. Trim off the tails on this leather so they don't get hung up on anything. I just want to try this. I can do this on the metal geared machines, but I don't know if I can go through 2 layers with this 99. Oop. Yeah, I think I bent the needle there. I have a tendency to do that on the leather because it slips around. I should have a walking foot or roller foot and leather needle, but it slips around, so when I try and guide it, I can see right here that I have bent the needle. I don't know, can you see that's kind of bent, yeah. But until I bent the needle, it was going through both of them, and it would probably be capable of that if you wanted to do that with a walking foot or even a rolling foot and a standard number 16 leather needle. But I'm very happy. I'm calling the sewing test a success for Cute. The stitches are balanced all the way through, and it's got plenty of penetration power and motor power for a belt driven machine. So I think I'll do the ending of the series will just be a nice slideshow of the machine, which I usually put on my Craigslist ad anyway, but it just to show how the machine ended up and how good it looks. So I hope you come back for the series finale, just a slideshow of Cute, the Singer Model 99K on AndyTube. Thanks for tuning in, and take care.